Hey, good evening, magical friends. Welcome to Psychic Couples React. I am psychic medium and trance channel Riz the Wiz, here with
his lovely wife, Intuitive Empath, Lady O. And I love how I like to add that. I have always liked that phrase. And the lovely wife.
I'll say it anytime you want me to say it.
Okay, say it.
And my lovely wife, the Intuitive Empath,
you're gonna have to make him
Lady
say that
O.
every single
I
time.
want to do it in the Paranormal Nightshift guy's voice. And the lovely wife, the Intuitive. No matter what he says, it sounds mysterious and paranormal.
You can't go wrong with that voice.
I can do that voice, but I feel like
I want to find out who that actually is.
Yeah, we should actually. We should react to him just talking to us.
I know.
So this is our reaction show where we dive into our favorite paranormal shows. Currently, what we're really into is Paranormal Nightshift, which only had one season. Can you believe it? I really hope they bring it back.
Yeah.
And what we like about this show, what we love about this show, is that the people who are on the show are those who work the night shift, the graveyard shift. This is a time, we certainly know it as being a psychic medium and an empath.
The veil is the thinnest.
At that time of night. So it's no surprise that these spaces are quite empty at night, and that gives space, you might say, for these spirits or entities to reveal themselves.
Yeah.
And these people are working, hardworking people, working that shift, and there's usually one or two people at the most there.
Right.
So this show is about them telling their paranormal stories, and then they have actors reenacting what went down.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really interesting. I'm not going to say too much about this episode because I want you guys to tell us what you think, and get your popcorn, your crystals, your sage, lower the lights, and get your blanket out because we're going to watch this show together. Let's dive into Paranormal Night Shift.
The premise is to make sure there were no unwelcome visitors or guests on the property.
We just have to go back a little bit. Southeastern New York.
I worked in an office building. I was a security guard at night. I basically was in charge of securing the building, locking down the doors, checking the premises to make sure there were no unwelcome visitors or guests on the property that weren't supposed to be there.
Living ones.
It was a really good job. I enjoyed working there, I have to say. My coworkers and the maintenance guys had some weird stories about the building. Still, I would approach things from a skeptical point of view. But what I found really interesting is right across the street from where I worked is a burial ground. And it was located next to an old church that was built sometime around the 1800s. One night, it was late, there was nobody in the building.
There's always a burial ground somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It startled me. The only way these elevator doors were to open is if somebody pushed the button and there was nobody in the building. The elevator doors slowly opened. Hello?
Now, it could be that the spirit is doing that on purpose to begin the communication or begin the playing with him, or it could be that just their presence is affecting the electronics.
Mm-hmm.
There was just no reason for that to happen.
What do you think was happening?
I didn't know what to think. I was just so startled. I had to make sure there was no intruder in the building. I checked the entire building. I secured all the doors, but there was no one left in the building. I thought I saw somebody. Hello? Hello?
I hate when that happens.
Can you stop?
The person isn't stopping. I was walking pretty fast. I should have caught up to the person.
So he's saying, can you stop?
Right.
I thought that was
So
weird.
he's completely materialized.
Matt can't let whoever it is get away.
Hello? Hello?
I don't know where they went, just vanished.
Just when he seems to hit a dead end, the unthinkable happens.
What is that?
Oh my God. It's like somebody's office. But look at it.
Oh.
I saw somebody working at their station. It was more like a shadow figure in the shape of a person. I was so scared.
When I worked in an office, I felt like a shadow person,
Didn't say a word.
barely, in the 3D.
He just vanished out of thin air.
Okay, let's
Just
pause it here.
vanished. That scared.
Vanished immediately. Okay, can you talk a little bit about this whole thing about I thought I saw something, the periphery again, seeing people in the corner of the eye?
Yeah.
Why is that so common to you?
I think it's just because you're not focused on something. So it's just your subconscious almost. It's like the resting state. It's the part of you that's just relaxed. You're just, you're just noticing what's around you, but you're not focused on it. So your brain is not as involved. And I think that's why we're catching and picking up these frequencies faster, or like when it happens, where with
If it was right in front of you, it wouldn't be the same.
You couldn't believe what you were seeing.
Right.
So there's like a
Because you're
disbelief.
searching for something
Right.
this way, and then here it's almost like another part of your consciousness is more in the periphery of your vision. Okay.
Yeah.
This poor guy. And by the way, this is not a hospital. It's not an insane asylum. It's not a prison.
Right.
It's not an old theater. This is just an office building. Mm-hmm. He's not expecting this to happen in a space like this. It's interesting. He said there's a burial ground across the street.
Yeah.
He didn't
took
say
note of that.
Right? Did you notice
Yeah,
that he
I
didn't
took
say
note of that.
cemetery?
Burial ground, cemetery. I think it's the same thing. I mean, it just depends on.
It just sounds more ominous when you say burial ground. You don't go to
Right.
say to a person, "Hey, I'm going to the burial ground today." It's like I'm going to drop your voice when you say burial
get
ground.
chills.
So this means, to me, look, cemeteries, they are high activity places because we carry over the energy to the other side that we also held here. I mean, anywhere where there is I want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? When all the energy points meet, okay, that the energy
like
the
a
energy
concentrated-
increases, right?
right.
So I almost want to say, certain types of people hang out at the gym.
Right.
Okay, so there's going to be a certain type of energy that's there.
Concentrated energy field.
Right, mass consciousness creating a bigger energy field, and that's what cemeteries often are.
Scared me. Honestly, it made me feel like, what's gonna happen next? I just had to get out of there.
What are you doing? There's something going on.
That's when my coworker explained the story about Pete.
Oh, that's when he explains the story about Pete.
Oh my gosh.
There was
want
a
to tell me
former
that,
employee that
when we were hanging
had
out?
passed away. They actually kept Pete's office exactly the way
That's
it
not
was
good.
after he had passed
Never
away.
a good idea, guys.
Nobody goes in the office. Everything is still there as if he was working there.
You
It was
have
just
to change the
really, really
vibration after the person
Matthew
passes.
discovers that the custodian's office is
Let's talk about that. Changing the vibration of the physical space when a person passes. Clearly, when they said they have not changed a thing,
Yeah.
this keeps you in the past. Look, these guys were not. I understand when you're at home and you want to keep a loved one's room the
Right.
same. It's very different. This was a professional place. This was something that the energy needed to be cleared, because a lot of people are going to be coming through there and working there. Okay, this is an office building.
Yeah.
You have a spiritual, energetic
There's
responsibility.
not the same kind of emotional attachments, like if it was in your home.
Yeah. So you think that Pete was there because he loved working? What's the empathic sense here?
I think he just couldn't. He was probably very routine based when he was here in the living, and I think that his job meant everything to him, and he had a lot of identification in his position.
The entity identity.
And he identified with that position as who he was, so it became a part of his personality. And you probably, my guess is he was probably working there a very long time. Yeah, and so they did say that. Okay, so yeah, and so what happens is you cross over and everything looks the same, but you don't realize that you actually crossed over because the desk is still there. Everything is still there.
You still have work to do.
You still have work to do. You still show up. You still have that connection.
Yes.
And, from what I've heard and researched on my own about, the afterlife, I just feel like there is no time because there's no clocks. There's no time on the other side. So sometimes a soul will get stuck in this kind of cycle that could last for a very long time.
So they're latching on to something through the emotional attachment to the routine that he had for so many years. This place was clearly really his home. A lot of those people who work those jobs for so long, especially old school people, they really they stay working at a place for 50 years. That place becomes their second home, or really, I want to say they feel more at home there. Because you go to there, sometimes,
and if they don't have a family or they don't have anything to really distinguish or markers to like really let them know they die, sometimes there's been people who have, it's a longer story to tell you how I know this, but many accounts have said that there's spirits who just don't know they are dead. They don't know they crossed over. They don't know they crossed.
Clearly.
Yeah. So, he could be still in his routine. He could still be in. I still feel like his identity is stronger there. It's not just one of those kind of energetic recording loops, like sometimes that happens.
The imprint of repetitive behavior.
An activity or a murder or something that happened in the room. But in this case, I feel like it's an actual choice to be there for the spirit.
This spirit feels, to me, like he's recognizing this custodian, this security guard, excuse me. He sees him. He almost like he pulled him in to come. I'm going to show you my office because he was walking through the hallway.
He opened the elevator doors.
Yeah.
So he's in his routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually kept Pete's office exactly the way it was after he had passed away. Nobody goes in the office. Everything is still there as if he was working there. It was just really, really odd.
Matthew discovers that the custodian's office is into.
All of a sudden I look up and I see this crazy figure.
No!
I want to hear about this.
Matt's job as a security guard has
what
him
was
feeling
crazy
more
about it.
scared than secure.
Well, he is near.
While working
He is
the
near
night shift,
the graveyard.
He encounters the ghost of a dead employee. And now, something much more terrifying manifests.
All of a sudden I look up. I couldn't believe what I saw. I just stood there and I just said, what am I seeing? Am I seeing a real thing or am I seeing something supernatural?
Supernatural is real, buddy.
It was freaking me out. I definitely felt unwelcome. All I knew is I just wanted to get out of there and go home.
Oh no.
I see this ancient warrior figure.
I missed that the first time.
I felt like it could harm me or hurt me.
If a spirit is,
Wow.
You know what's
Ancient
happening? You want to
warrior
know what's
figure.
happening?
I didn't catch that the first time, by the way. This was the first time I was seeing that.
Right. You know what I'm picking up on with the security guard is he happens to be one of those people that have the ability to look into other dimensions, because there is there could be other people standing next to him that can't see what he's seeing.
Now this happens, right?
Yeah.
Because people say, "Did you hear that?" And the other person says, "No."
Right.
So
he's open. He doesn't even realize he's open to it. He's probably more empathic.
I mean, he seems
than
like a
most.
really nice guy, but also
Yeah.
seems kind of vulnerable, kind of maybe a little bit shy. So there is a little, that sensitivity is the opening.
He's peering into these dimensions. So these spirits might have been walking these halls for a while.
And they're like I said, they
And
like to
they're
jump you in.
They're finally getting seen.
I thought I was going crazy. I had to get out of there.
Don't go.
Thinking like maybe I was hallucinating, but to me it's like that's some hallucination to have such a vivid image of that kind of figure. And the ancient warrior figure just disappeared into nothing.
And when he disappeared, what did you think?
I couldn't wait to get home.
Okay, now let's talk about gatekeepers or spirits that are interdimensional travelers, not ghosts.
And also, that ghost or that spirit could have known him in
I
a
feel
past
so.
life.
I'm not getting that was a ghost this time. This was for him.
Yeah, I feel like this is like past life of some kind because, I mean, I don't know what his background is, but I mean, something's telling me that this was in a past life. He had a connection to this warrior. The warrior is meeting him there and seeing him there. Not everybody who goes into that office building is going to see this warrior.
No, and to see him in
People
that form.
are really surprised to find out how much it has to do with them, the receiver.
They almost never believe it. They always
They
go,
always
this
think
place
it's
is
just
haunted.
the building, it's the house, it's the place, it's the tree.
Energies have
it's the
to
environment.
align and harmonize, and all energies
There's
are
much more
harmonized.
consciousness involved than people give credit.
Yes, and your past spiritual history. You are a spirit, guys. We are all spirits. We've lived many lifetimes. So we both agree, right? So we're agreement on this. We
Yeah.
both strongly feel this was a past life connection. This is perhaps a tribal member. Perhaps this was,
Could be his brother.
and it could be the past version of himself.
It could be that.
Or future version of himself
It
coming
could be
back.
his enemy that he fought.
Coming back for some communication, unfinished business, whether it was pleasant or unpleasant,
And
with
because of
him.
the magnification of the graveyard nearby, it's amplifying the environment, creating a portal effect, which is allowing these spirits to come in and
Absolutely.
attracting the situation.
all the factors are there. The environment, it is perfectly attuned for this kind of activity to happen.
Yeah.
Very high strangeness, very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm about to leave. I just seen this black mass, darker than the shadows.
I've seen
that's
that.
how I knew something wasn't right. And I just froze.
Did you feel like you were in danger?
At that point, yes. I was so scared because I felt unwelcomed. I felt like it wanted me out of there. It was dark, very negative feeling.
It really communicates through emotions.
Yes, and it could be that you're just so afraid that you interpret your fear as the negative emotion rather than what they are putting out. This is not stopping.
What looked like creatures to me.
Oh, so he's just in a portal.
Yeah, he's in the portal.
These things were demonic.
He's having a bad
It
night.
almost seemed like they were getting ready to gang up on me. Demonic entities were nothing like I ever seen in my whole life. I was really scared.
Those energies always feed off of fear,
Yeah.
like dementors.
I thought they were gonna hurt me. Can we stop for a minute?
Poor guy. Oh my God.
definitely brings back memories. I don't want to have that feeling again of being apprehensive or feeling like I'm going to get hurt.
Leave me alone!
I didn't want to get hurt. I just wanted to get the hell out of there and get home.
All the different types of entities that can...
The custodian had nothing to do with this part of it, by the way. The guy who worked there, Pete,
yeah.
I don't think this has anything to do with it in terms of they don't know each other, the warrior spirit and those
these are all different experiences. He just happens to be walking into this really strong portal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that warrior that he saw, or the spirit that took the form of that, may have been sort of like the guy who works the gate or works the door at a club.
Yeah.
It was just like, you're in or you out.
Yeah.
Or you might want to get out of here because there's a lot of stuff that goes down here.
Yeah.
So you might as well just get out. Maybe we have to scare this guy. It could have been that they were going to scare him out of what was like a war zone, basically, between these interdimensional energies.
He could have been in the crosshairs of a lot of other things happening.
I hope he got home and saged himself. Someone found he needs to walk through a crystal store and light himself up with sage.
This is a multidimensional experience. He's also could be experiencing and walking into multidimensional facets of reality that are crisscrossing.
Yes,
it just happens
the intersection.
To be, there just happens to be the veil is thinnest here, and he just is empathic enough to experience and see it all.
Well, I hope that he woke up to the fact that there is a much larger reality called the supernatural as the natural, the paranormal as the normal, and really starts to take life more seriously in the fact of energy, and that there's more to him. There's more to him than just being what he's doing.
He's walking away with this experience just only fearful. And I understand the fear component, but there's so much more to this picture. Let's see what else happens.
I thought to myself, maybe these restless spirits had some kind of connection to the burial ground that's across the street from the building.
I mean, this is a cemetery.
This was in Northeast New York, right?
Southeast New York, which I don't know what they mean by Southeast New York, but I mean, I'm from New York. Maybe they mean upstate New York, but to the southeast. It seems to be a small town. That's amazing.
Well, because that's like very historical area.
Well, I mean, everything's, yes, you're right, because the settlers came and there were more people there other than the tribes. So this is, the East Coast is filled with so many paranormal spots that people know about.
Yeah. I just, I don't want him to walk away from this feeling like he did something wrong, or he has entities that are attached to him, or that there's bad things that happened to him that night, even though at first blush it does look like that. Actually, what's actually happening to him is he is so enhanced, his psychic abilities is so aware, and his other senses that are just so heightened that he was able to see this.
Yeah, but more often than not, he's not going to do anything about it. He's just going to say, all this crazy shit happened to me when I was working at this place, and now I'm a believer and stuff, but he's going to leave it at that. And we need to, and part of this show, and really the theme of this show is so that we can expand our knowledge of of the natural world, guys. This is part of the natural world that we live in, and we'll do our best to keep going with these shows. And guys, leave your comments here. Tell us if you've had any experiences that were similar, and we're definitely going to talk about them. And
hope you're enjoying this podcast, and share and like and leave your comments below, and we'll see you the next time.
Bye-bye.